You know that golf club you got sitting in the back of the closet, what was always your favorite, just your favorite club, but then you replaced it. Why? Because all the bright, shiny new tech was on it, right? You just wanted to hit that ball further. You just knew it was going to be the way it was, and that club still stays in your bag to this very day, with that other one just waiting for this one to slip up, right? And you just want to know, well, did you lose anything by going up on tech? Well, let's find that out today. Welcome back to the McGolf Fitting Studio. Jim McCleary, most award certified club maker, club fitter. If you would, like and subscribe, and that way you get more of the videos when they drop. If you would, on the social platforms that are flying around, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, look up McGolf Custom Clubs or I Am McGolf. Now, what happened was the very same thing that I was just describing basically happened to me. We were cleaning out some drawers and I stumbled onto a hybrid that I used for years, right? But it was brand new. It was brand new. So I thought, well, if I put a comparable shaft in it, could it equal my gamer? Could it equal the gamer? And it was the club that replaced this one, right? And so we went to figure it out. So I went digging more into the closet as far as where the shafts go, and I found an Aldila Rip, which was, it's not a recoil, which is my other one, but is very, very similar as far as weights and flexes and things like that go. So what we did is I went and I measured just to make sure. I cut them to the exact same length. I did some measuring to make sure, and they both came out at 21 degrees. The older club was 59.5. The newer club was 58.5 in the lie angle. The flexes were right up there. They were both very stiff, and they were, in fact, the brand new one I made with the Aldila Rip and the regular ended up being more stiff than my current stiff shaft in the recoil. So it just goes to show you, a stiff is not a stiff is not a stiff. And put a new grip on it, and away we went. So everything, they're very, very similar. Now, when you set them down at address, the black one, the Swing Science one, looks a little bit more closed to me than the other one, but that shouldn't make too much of a difference. Now, why are we doing this? Well, we want to talk about the technology. Does the tech that they put into these golf clubs really make a difference? And that's what we're here to find out. Now, in the older days, it was basically, cup face or big hollow body design type stuff, and that was all that was available because things were being measured differently in that time frame. Now with even the Epic had a whole bunch more technology going on to it with carbon crowns, cup face technologies and things like that in order to make it work. It even had rails, and it is a gamer. This is a good club for me. I'm typically about a 210 carry with it, and it may roll out a little bit further. So that's what, and that's what we're looking at. Now, I do like the recoil and the way that it plays for me. However, I want to give the Aldila Rip a shot at it just to see what's going on. So we're going to go out and we're going to hit them all on the machine. We're going to talk about it while we're doing the hitting, and then we'll come back and we'll see just exactly if we thought having that new technology was worth it. All right, before we get to the topic of it all, let's see how they all flew. This was the Epic, and this is all 4 shots, or all 11 shots as the case may be. I hit one extra just to show you guys a little something about the quality of hit and what it means. So basically I'm hitting a pull fade with this guy right now because I'm way across the outside in, and I haven't figured out how to close my face on this one. And this one just showed up, but it is what it is. You go to the course with it you played, and so that's what we have. And let's do that one more time. It's really worth looking at. Nice one there. Comes down, and there's a big bend, right? Okay, so now let's hit the Swing Science. Off this takes, and another big bender, so at least I'm consistent. But if you notice, the pattern isn't quite together. Again, let's see that again. Boom, out it goes, out to the right, and to the left, and it lands like that. So now the next question is, how did they land? And this will kind of give away some of your answer. And there you go. So the Callaway was a little more concise as opposed to this one. That was because we had a shorty sitting in here So if I take that one out, and we'll take a look at that to kind of even it up. Not a bad dispersion pattern with either one. It's hitting a hybrid that's very forgiving. So let's just see how it all turned out now. Let's go over here to our tables. And so we'll look at it right now. So the Callaway Epic went 204 carry, 218 total, with the Swing Science going 196 to 208. I was a little bit more left on average than I was with the Swing Science. However, with the Swing Science, I swung about, I'd say about 1.5 miles more than I did the Epic. However, my quality of hit was just a little bit better, and I think this is where the technology comes into play, guys and gals, and that it's a 0.05 difference. That's a pretty big, it's a pretty big difference when you're talking about quality of hit. Spin rate within 3,000 or 300 of each other. The axis not too far. Actually hit the Swing Science a little bit higher by just a little bit. Now keep in mind, I checked out both of these, and both of them were lofts were 21 degrees. Both the swing weights were the same. The lie angle, the rip was actually 1 degree up, where it was 59.5 for the Swing Science and 58.5 for the Epic. Now the thing with the flex, and the reality of it is, the flex was, even with a regular flex shaft, the rip was still, it was about half of a flex more stiff. I thought the club felt really, really good. It just didn't feel like it popped off like the Epic did. Both of them classified as a pull fade. Got a little bit more roll because of the lower spin rate, but not by much. The attack angles were within a 1/4 of a degree of each other. Club head paths were still way to the right, but they were on. And here's the telltale where the dynamic loft was look at that, almost, about 2 degrees higher. So that's where the telltale sign is for landing shorter. All right, so a little bit of club analysis and seeing what was going on. Nice Swing Science, a pretty decent set of paths. A little bit open. This is just telling me I like the lighter shaft a little bit better. The attack angles were pretty good if we use the graphs. My attack angle is pretty consistent across the board, so I'm just skipping that. So what we get here is what I call the May West curves: loads, unloads, loads, and unloads, but very consistent. I do like the feel of the shaft. Maybe a combination of the other might produce something else. Where the recoil is a little different. You see how it flattens out, but it's still going straight through the ball, and I think that's what the recoil is doing. That's the manufacturing of the shaft, and that's what you're seeing right there. So we get back into that. So overall, what did we notice? Well, we noticed that we are, 8 yards, almost a full club longer in carry. We are a full club longer in total. We're out there all together. And I just basically, my quality of hit was just better, and that's what got me out there. Now, going back, I wanted to show you one. This is the reason why quality of hit is, the smash factor is so important. All right, I got into one. I just came out of my shoes just to see if I could, and I was swinging around 98, 99 mile an hour, and I just wound up on one. And when I did that, I got up to 107 with the hybrid. And it only went 203. If that was the case, this thing should have been about 220-ish off of the deck. But I didn't get into the club very well. If you notice, I only got 120 versus the 127s and 133s and whatnot, which the 133 actually went further, being 10 mile an hour slower. So getting into the middle of the face with the right amount of spin, because they're very, very similar, where you hit it on the face is extraordinarily important. So you can swing hard all day long, but if you don't find the middle of the face, or at least a good quality face, get you a shaft that you like, a length that you like, the weight that you like, the flex that you like, you're not going to get anything out of it. And that was the whole idea of doing that. Now, what's the numbers if I take out the shorty right here for the other one? Take that guy out. And let's see, just to be equal, I'll take this guy out. And did we do a difference? Well, 5 yards and 7 yards. So a little closer, but still better. So all in all, that's what we needed to see. We just do it a little bit better. So let's go finish this guy up. Right. So we saw the testing, right? We wanted to see the idea of whether or not new technology is really working for us and just the idea of distance. Now, when we put these guys together, both the hybrids had the same loft. They had within a degree of a lie angle. They were the same length. They were really close. They're half a flex off of each other. The weights were very proper. And the only difference really when it comes right down to it, yeah, shaft make was a little bit different, but I figured the Alda La Rip would hold on with it. And I think it did. I think it really provided a good test. And if you look at the ball spin, there really wasn't too much of a difference in ball spin. 300, which is plus or minus on the machine, I'll take that all day. So that worked out really, really well. So the only thing that was really left was head technology, right? Head technology. When I first started doing these, the first hybrid that I showed you was the one that was in my bag. It was my Gamer. And it got replaced by the one that's currently in my bag, which is now my Gamer. And now you can see why one changed. I'm easily a half a club to a full club longer. The control is just a little bit tighter, at least in that stuff. I'm sorry, but some of the swings were pathetic, but you get the idea. So you're throwing it out there. Like I said before, it's a 210, 215, and then it's a 225 into the final. You could feel it snapping off the face with the Epic more than you could the Swing Science, and that's just by build. I mean, the clubs are virtually night and day difference, but again, it's technology. Does technology work in golf? Well, in this particular answer, the answer is yes. All right, the answer is yes for certain. I'm not changing them out anytime soon, although I may be considering a shaft change. You just never know. We'll see what the next ones hold when they come through. So if you're considering new hybrids and you're wondering, geez, is the technology good? If you've been a while, 4 or 5 years, the chances are the answer is yes, right? And get the right shaft that fits you, get the right length that's for you, the right grip size so you don't feel so bad about it, and enjoy golf and have some fun. And as always, let's see your scores go low.